All right, the table shows the populations of the 10 largest cities in Texas. In Canvas, I left you a note. Please scroll all the way down to answer all of the questions. Excuse me. On your paper, you can read them pretty clearly. I know it's a little far away on the projector screen. A says estimate the difference between the populations of the highest populated city and the two lowest populated cities combined. So really quickly, I walked around to check how many of you were using cubes, and I didn't see a lot of you following that. So I'm going to do it, but I'm not necessarily going to explain every step. We're going to circle the 2 because remember yesterday my group in the morning didn't do that and we forgot that number. We're going to underline the question, which is basically estimate the difference between the populations of the highest populated city and the two lowest populated cities combined. This has 2 parts to it. So we need to make sure that we answer both parts to have it be complete. Boxing keywords. The first one is estimate. The difference between highest and two lowest. Okay, so we've got lots to do. So what is the difference between tell us we're going to do if we're evaluating our steps? Difference. Subtract. 2 lowest. What are we going to do with them? Add them. All of them have to be estimated, which means we're going to what? Round. Okay? So what is the highest population city? Houston. So to round that, we have some options. We want to round to the most reasonable number, but we also want to round to the number that's going to be easiest to work with, right? So would rounding to the nearest million be easy? No. It'd be really easy, wouldn't it? But would it be giving us a number to work with? No. No, because what do we lose if we rounded to the nearest million? 325,000. Right, we lose all those 100,000s, don't we? So we're not going to round to the nearest million. What's our next option? The nearest 100,000, right? So if our 100,000 is 3 and the digit to its right is a 2, what is that 100,000 going to stay? 300. Very good. So our number for Houston is 2,300,000. Agreed? Now, what are the 2 lowest populated cities? Plano? No. Laredo. Remember, we're not going to look at the millions because there's only a few cities with that. We need something less than that, right? So we come to the 100,000s and we compare that column. We've got 3s, 9s, 6s, 8s, some more 3s, a 2, and a 5. So we want to stick to the 2s, right? So those are the 2 lowest. So Laredo would round to what? Nearest 100,000. What's that going to round to? That's the nearest 10,000. 300,000. Since we did the largest, we've got to do the smallest that way. How about the next one? Plano. 300,000. Another 300,000, right? So we've added some population, but it's asking for an estimate. So it's okay. So now we've got the 2 lowest and the 1 highest. What are we going to do now? Add who? Add what? Laredo and Plano. So if we add Laredo and Plano, because those are the 2 lowest, what do we get? 600,000. Now what do we do with that information? Very good. So we've already done the addition. Now we're going to do the subtraction. So notice what we've done. We've rounded. We've added. Now we're subtracting, right? So we're going to take, what was that, Houston? And we're going to subtract Laredo and Plano. All these back end zeros just come down because there's nothing to take them away from, right? But can I take 6 away from 3? No. So what do I do?
You take 1 from the 2, 10 from the 2.
10 from the 2, and we now have 13. So if I have 6, and I count to 13, what do I get? 7. This 1 has nothing to take away from it, so we just bring it down. So our estimated difference is 1,700,000, correct? Now, B is asking for the actual difference between the populations of the highest populated city and the 2 lowest populated cities combined. Oh, by the way, we finished number 2 because we showed all of our work. Okay? So we didn't explain in words. We explained by showing exactly what we did. We rounded here. We added here. We subtracted here. All of that strategy is being explained with that. Now, we could put it into words, but we don't have to. Okay? So, there was no numbers to circle except for the same number we circled over there. We are going to underline the question. Remember, in larger word problems, the question isn't everything we're reading. Sometimes it's factual information and then a question, and all we want to underline is the question. Got it? Here we want to know the actual difference, okay, between the highest populated and the 2 lowest populated. So again, what are we doing to these 2? What are we doing to the 2 lowest populated cities? Adding. What are we doing for difference? Subtracting. And they want the actual number. So the actual number for Laredo is 261,639. And Plano is 288,061. Remember, we're going to keep those lined up by place value. Correct? And when we add 2 numbers, we start with the largest number and add the smaller number. It makes our math easier to do in our head. So what's 9 and 1? What's 7 and 3? 7 and 3. 6 and 1? 8 and 1? 8 and 6? Excellent. How about 3 and 2? So this again is the 2 lowest, right? What are we going to do with that now? We've already added. We're going to subtract it from what? The 2 million. And I've already shown you the grid paper and how the line paper work to keep your digits lined up. So if you have to do that, please do it. We're going to take this number, and I'm sorry we're not adding, we're subtracting. 549,700. So when I take 0 away from 2, I get 2. 0 from 0. How about 7 away from 5? What do I need to do? Borrow next door, right? So 7 is what I have. How many do I need to get to 15? 8. Count up. Makes subtraction easier. I have 9 and I need to take it away from 4. Go next door. I have 9 and I need 14. How many do I need? 5. 4 from 1. 4 from 11. Don't count backwards, count up. Start at 4, count to 11. Huh? 7. How about 5 from 2? 5 to 12. And 1 has nothing to take away from, so we're going to bring that down. So our actual number is 1,775,802. How does that compare to our estimated total? What's higher? The actual difference is higher or greater than the estimated difference. So what I'm doing here is I'm giving them the answer to the comparison. I can also compare the actual is greater than the estimate. The actual difference is greater than the estimate.